everybody, welcome back to the farm. We've got a small issue going on with our pigs and we're going to treat it. We are newbies to raising hogs for meat. We've had pet pigs for quite a while now, but we're raising red wattle pigs. Babies have been separated from mama and daddy. They're at the age of maturity where we don't want dad breeding to the babies, but also we want to make sure that we are really loading the babies full of food because they're going to go to market in about a month. And so the problem with feeding them together is the mama and daddy obviously are very big and they're eating all the food. So while the baby pigs have been getting very fat, they're not really babies anymore. Mama pig is looking really skinny. And we have tried to up her food and make sure that her water tastes really good and all the kind of things. And so I don't think it's an appetite problem. I think she's got parasites. And so we have to deal with parasites with goats, and of course with horses you can regularly deworm, but deworming pigs is new for us. There are multiple ways that you can deworm, and it was kind of overwhelming when we were looking up all the information on the internet. This feels like the easiest thing to do for us right now. And so this is a dewormer. It's an anti-parasitic that is already mixed into a little bit of food. So we figured out how much food we need, and this is a 3-day course treatment for the next 3 days, and we mix it in with their food. Now this is like a 13% sweet feed that we've got in here, and it's not usually what we give them because it's not meant necessarily for pigs, but their appetite is a little bit low, and I want to make sure that they eat the whole of what we're giving them because that is the complete dose. So to make sure they're eating it, we're making sure that their dinner is really, really yummy today. So this gets mixed with this. Just follow the directions on the back. Super simple. But that's not all that we have to do. First, let's do this, and then when we're in the pen, I want to talk about specifically how we're going to treat their pen to make sure that the cycle of worms is not just going on and on and on again. So let's go in and say hi to Mama Pig. Second thought, before we go in there, let me go ahead and mix this based on their weight and how many pigs we have and the 3-day treatment. This whole bag is a good treatment for both pigs for the amount of food. I would love to separate them and make sure that they get equal parts. I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to have to monitor and make sure that they're getting an equal amount because Daddy Pig is a bit of a pig. So mix in a little bit. Let's add some of this in there. This is Dewormer lasagna. See what I did there? Get in there. This is Daddy Pig, and he's doing just fine. Boy, you better get down. Y'all are so crazy. Get down. They do this every time. Mama, here's yours. Okay. A couple things are going to help us to stop this cycle because parasites, you have to kill every stage of the parasite, right? So we need to make sure that even though we're treating them, and look at her body condition compared to his, the rough skin, the scaly rough skin was my first like, oh, something is wrong, because she came to us a little bit thin because she had given birth and was nursing around the clock and stuff. And we added weight to her and then she lost it. And then her skin condition looked rough and I was like, that feels like parasites. But anyway, I digress. We need to make sure that any parasites that are living, that get pooped out, don't live in the soil where they are right now. We normally, especially in the heat of summer, leave a nice big mud pool in here for them. The mud coats their bodies, it keeps them nice and cool, but that is also the perfect spot for parasites to continue to thrive. So we are going to dry this out. We're going to turn the soil over to give it exposure. UV rays can help kill off a lot of the parasites that are hiding underneath a layer of soil. And then we are going to bring in lime. Lime is great. I use it all the time in the chicken coop. We use it in all the other stalls. And then we're also going to start layering down some straw. That is going to be a good thing to inhibit the growth of parasites to keep going. So instead of them having their little mud hole, we are going to bring a big water trough in here. It's rubber because they break everything else. And they'll have plenty of fresh water. We do clean out their trough pretty well. I think they always have some good sparkling clean water. I like that. But we shall check back in a couple of days and let you know how it's going. This feeding trough that we have right here is also really important for keeping their food off the ground. If it were exposed to the ground, they would still be putting their noses and rooting in the soil and then just thus continuing to infect themselves with parasites, eggs, all kinds of stuff. And so keeping it off the floor, even just a little bit, is paramount to ending the cycle of parasites. All right, before we go in, let's go say hi to the babies and see how big they're getting. All right, so obviously they don't really let me interact with them that much. We don't baby them and we don't treat them like pets because they are destined for slaughter, but it is fun to come in here and just put hands on them if they let us, see how they're doing. I love to be able to put eyes on them at least once a day. Not only do we need to protect our investment, but raising animals that you are raising for meat, I think that there needs to be dignity in every step of the process. I think they need to live well, they need to eat well, they need to be treated well, and then they need to die well. And I know a lot of people have a hard time raising animals for meat, but there is a lot of comfort knowing that the food that is in our freezer, we know exactly how that animal lived its life, and giving them a good life before we use them for the purpose that God intended is important to us. So we get to treat them well for the time that they are here. They're still so skittish. And I intentionally did not come in here and get close to them because that makes the butcher day that much harder. Anyway, that is all from us. We will see you guys in the next video.